Okay, so I'm here to be of service to you. Okay. Ask me anything you'd like to ask me concerning sales and marketing, whatever you want. I've been doing it for a long time. If I can't answer your question, I'll say I haven't got a clue. If I can't answer your question, I'll give you the best shot I can. All right. I've coached many network marketing companies. In fact, I've got 3 network marketing companies I'm coaching right now. Okay. But anyway, I'm here to answer you. There's no presentation. I'm here to answer your questions. So,
are you in Cash FX, by the way?
Beg your pardon?
No,
Are
he's
you
not.
in Cash FX?
I don't even know what that is.
That's the business I'm in, Peter.
Pardon?
That's the business that we're in.
No. I'm not in any. I got my own business. I mean, that's enough for me, right?
I just wondered.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Hey, is that a sales pitch you're trying to give me?
No, not at all.
Because if it is, you went about the wrong way.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
I was being cheeky. All right. Any questions?
Don't be shy.
Okay, so what's the best way to approach people on our business, which is obviously a Forex trading business, and people can be passive, or they can build.
Yep, I appreciate that. I've listened to Desi a few times. Okay, I understand that.
So what would be the best way to approach them?
When you're approaching them, first of all, you've got to put your product aside. Don't be mesmerized by the 5% per day return potential on your product. Don't do that, because people won't believe you. Right? Don't do that. You got to remember this. When you're talking to people, it doesn't matter what it is you are selling. There's 4 things going around their head. And if I was you, and I'm sounding like the school teacher I used to be here, so my apologies, right? But I would write these 4 things down, because they are thinking this, and if they don't get an answer to these 4 questions, yes, they're not going to become a customer. The first thing is this believable? Right? Is this believable? That's what they're thinking. They're not going to tell you this, but they're thinking it. Is it believable? The second thing is, can I trust you? The third thing is it right for me? Is it the right thing for me to do right now? Okay. And the fourth thing is, can I do this? Those 4 things are in their head right now, Shana, right? So when you approach them, you make sure that you are aware of that. And if you can, put them on the table. Surprise them. Saying, for example, hey, Peter, you're probably thinking this is hard to believe, is it right? Ask them straight out. Because obviously, whatever it is, the return. Is that true? Do you think that's, let me know. And get them to open up with you. And the best way is to be open with them, to be honest with them, and to put on the table the things that you know they're thinking.
Okay.
All right? If you do that, this is what happens.
Recording in progress.
Oh.
Sorry.
To do that, you need to get people to resonate with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If people don't resonate with you, in other words, if they can feel that you understand them, right? If they can feel that you understand them, they'll start to resonate with you. If they start to resonate with you, then they'll start to respect you. If they start to respect you, then they'll be inspired by you, and then they'll take action with you. But if you're not achieving that, you're not going to get a sale of your product. That's the point of it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So what were the 3 things? I'm sorry. 1.
4. Is this believable?
Okay.
And especially in your game with Forex, right? Because, I mean, you're playing big numbers at times, and some of the returns that you're getting, which is incredible, right, are hard to believe for the person in the street, right?
Yep.
Is it believable? Secondly, can I trust you, Shana? Can I trust you?
Yes, of course you can.
Thirdly, is it right for me? Is it the right thing for me to do right now? Okay, should I be buying the new car? Should I be investing with this? Should I, whatever, right?
Yep.
And finally, can I do this? That's not from the passive point of view. That's from the active option you've got.
Okay.
Right? All right. Now, that's how you approach people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Very
It
simple.
does.
And the 3 key words, resonate. Get them to resonate with you. In other words, get them. It's more than trust. It's respect.
Yeah.
If they respect you, then you have differentiated yourself, Shana, from Malcolm or from Peter or from Chris or from Nathan. You differentiate yourself, right?
Yeah.
When they respect you. And if they respect you, then they're prepared to listen to your recommendation. If they don't respect you, they won't.
Okay.
Does that
Thank
help?
you. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just another question there. Say you're talking to someone on Facebook or LinkedIn online, you're chatting, how are you? How's it going? The normal thing, Then, of course, you've got to broach the subject of business. How do you, start the ball rolling, start the conversation going, move it towards the business level?
Book's on, then the language is on.
Sorry.
Sorry, that was somebody else.
Peter, and this is always one of the big questions. How do you move from how you doing, what's the name of your dog, where do you live, to a business conversation? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
First of all, you've got to ask permission. Don't just go boom. You must ask permission. In other words, if I'm talking to you, Peter, I'm a sales coach, and if I'm talking to you and I'm doing it on Messenger, whatever it is, I will say to you, Peter, listen, and I use voice clips a lot, by the way. They are much more powerful than text. And be careful in LinkedIn and Facebook. The longer your text is, the less chance people are going to read it. Because online these days, people have got ADD. And you can say a lot more in 30 seconds than you can write in half a page. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Okay? And you don't say it in a way that sounds sleazy and salesy, but in a way that sounds that you genuinely, I really would like to talk to you, Peter. Here's an example. You might not like this, Peter, but this is what I do. When I want to talk business with Peter Hewson, the first thing I want to do is not talk business. I say to you, Peter, I would really like to hop on a call with you, okay? On one condition, that you don't talk business with me. I want to know what drives Peter Hewson. I want to know what gets you out of bed in the morning. I want to know what you are, and I'd like to share what my why and my mission is and why I live in Thailand. Would you be interested in just 15 minutes while I get to know you? We can always talk business any other time, but let's get to know each other first. I do that all the time. That when people get on, most people will say yes to that. Okay, and when you get on the call, you genuinely don't talk business. I say, Peter, we've got 15 minutes, okay? And let's agree, we're not talking business. We can talk business any other time, but what you're doing is you're building resonance. What you're doing is building a relationship, and you're taking 15 minutes of your valuable time to spend finding out about what makes them tick. All right?
Yeah.
Then and only 15 minutes, and just remind them, only 15 minutes. Okay? If someone says, look, I really don't want to spend much time talking person, much I'll talk business, you say, okay, thanks, hang up. Don't you hang up, make them hang up. Very few people do. They say, well, what do you want to talk about? Because you got the curiosity, right? Because it's unexpected. And my message to you is this, to all of you. You need to create memorable moments with people from the first time you meet them. The more memorable they are, the more potential customers, Peter Hewson, you're going to get. And I created one with you because I promised you I'm going to talk just about personal things with you, and we can talk business any other time because we're connected anyway, right? When the 10 minutes are up, I say to you, Peter, look, the 10 minutes is right. Tell me something. Did the call meet your expectations? Right? In other words, you didn't pitch them at all. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
most people, because they love talking about themselves, for God's sake, right? They love it. And when they see that you're genuinely interested, okay, and you ask, tell me about that, Peter. Why is that? Wow. You don't talk about when they got into business. If they start talking business, say, hey, woo, 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 woo. That's not on the agenda. We'll do that next time. Okay? So you sow the seed already for the next call. All right?
Yeah.
So when the 10 minutes are up, I asked them, did this call meet your expectations? Yes or no? 99%, yeah. Say, okay, fine. You know, and you've got to tell the truth here. You don't, no, excuse the French, you don't bullshit, right? You got to tell the truth. In other words, if I genuinely enjoyed meeting John Cook, right, then I would say, John, it was a privilege and a pleasure for me to have a few minutes to get to know about you. Thank you so much for sharing your time. And I don't think, whatever it was, that he'd been married for 75 years or whatever it is, okay? I'm so proud of you, etc., right? Then I would say, would you like to meet again? I have not had a person yet that said no. I say, okay, well, let's make another booking for a call. And this time we can talk about business because we understand each other a bit. But, you know, do me a favor. I've been spammed by experts, okay? What I'd like to do is hear what you're all about on the condition you're prepared to hear what I've got to say. Is that a fair deal? Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure does.
The other thing is this. Do you use a calendar to make bookings?
Yeah.
I mean, I use Google Calendar and I use a thing called Calendly.
Yeah, I use that. Yeah.
And that's hooked into Google, right? Google Calendar. Just use the free version. You don't need the pay version. When they book the time, here is a really clever thing for you. When they book a time with you, right, you all automatically have their email address, right? Because it's in Calendly. You've got the email address. When they do that, what you do is, I would create a 60-second video, right? Hello, Leanne, nice to see you. I would create a 60-second video, not personalized, just a template video. And it simply says, you don't even mention the name. You just simply say, I'm really looking forward to meeting you in the near future. Thank you so much for booking the call. I've looked at your website or I've looked at your profile, where it is, and I've got some exciting things to share with you. So thank you very much for your interest and I'll see you soon. And you send that little video to their email address before they get on the call. What you're doing is you're energizing them, because right now you are still an uncertain thing. They're still not sure about you, Peter, right? Even though you said, I don't want to talk business, they don't believe you, because everybody talks business, right? Does that help?
Yeah, for sure.
Make people experience memorable moments.
Absolutely.
All right. Sorry. I get a bit.
Thanks very much.
All right. I'll back off. This is a very passionate topic for me, so Desi knows this. So go. Next, please. Leanne, I can see you thinking, so stop muting yourself and talk to me. I've had a shower, I'm all clean, everything's fine.
Here's one, Peter. Oh, go, Leanne. You go.
No, I wasn't going to ask anything. I'm just here to learn, really.
Oh, okay. One objection a lot of us get is that they go onto Google and read that it's a scam, and just trying to.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you know what? People make money out of going into Google and creating scam articles on things that are perfectly legitimate.
Yeah.
Okay? So what you say to them, look, do me a favour and pick any Australian Prime Minister or United States President and put the word scam next to it and you'll find it. There it is. That's how you dismiss that. There's a lot of rubbish, right?
Yeah.
And tell them people are making money out of you by telling you lies, right? I don't know any product online that doesn't have some sort of scam factor associated with it. By the way, food for thought. People who earn, I'll rephrase this. I mentioned to Peter earlier that you need to create memorable moments. What I was really trying to say, more than that, is that you need to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. Because John, you're competing with Jenny, and Jenny, you're competing with Leanne competing with Nathan, because you're all selling the same stuff, right? So why should they do business with Nathan rather than you, Sony? Why? Because you're selling the same thing. How do you answer that question? Why should they do business with you? Diane?
Did you build up a trust factor? More than the other person? Respect more than the other person?
Do they believe that?
Maybe.
This is before you had the chance to even talk to them, right? I'm talking about
okay.
First thing. Okay? Why should I trust Diane? Okay? I mean, I don't know if she's from a bar of soap, right? So how do you position yourself so that the Peters or the Chris's or Malcolms of this world would at least be prepared to say hello? That's the point, right? How do you get to the first base? What would you do?
Get to know them, like you said.
Let me rephrase it. What you shouldn't do is hide behind the company. I don't care how good the company is. People buy people. People will buy people before they buy your offer. If all you're talking about on Facebook in your profile are all the things that you have in your company and the success you're making, etc., the more you say that, the less people believe it. Because these days, and you know it, social media is powerful, but it's full of skepticism, disbelief, and distrust, right? And especially when it comes to money, right? So if you cannot afford to hide behind your company. Nathan Curry, you got to differentiate yourself from Desi Perez. They got to think, God, I'm really lucky to talk with Nathan, right? So how do you do that? You do
By
that.
telling your story?
You got to brand yourself in a
Brand you?
particular way. Yeah.
Amen. Exactly. You've got to have a story, right? You got to, and by the way, not just any story, but a story, remember, that will resonate with people, right? A story that will show them that you've been there and done that, that you had your bum kicked in, that you have been in a situation where you haven't had any money to bless yourself with, etc., that you have been in a situation when you were scared to spend money, especially on the stock market, okay? Just because my grandfather told me, just get into property and don't touch anything else. All this, I've been there and done that, you tell them, right? That's your story, whatever relates to you, all right? And to help you here, I'm just keeping an eye on the timing, Desi, sorry. And what you need to do is you've got to pull them by the heartstrings, right? Now, this might sound a bit sobby for you guys, right? But it's true. You've got to actually get people emotionally involved in your story. And I haven't got time today to teach you how to do that. I can come back and do another session if you want to and tell you how to do that. But I haven't got time to do it. But you need to build a story that differentiates you from everybody else. And people think, wow, Leanne, that's incredible, okay? Because and by the way, the story hasn't got to be anything fantastic. In fact, the more ordinary it is, the better, because people can relate with it even more. So look around in your life and think of things that you could share with a potential customer about you that would help them understand and appreciate you. All right? And by the way, the story should only go for 3 or 4 minutes maximum. They're not on there to listen to your life story. It's just a story that helps differentiate you. Does that make sense? Secondly, when you're doing your posts on social media, by all means, you can have the congratulation posts and things. I've seen that with Desi, and I've often said, congrats, Desi, because I'm proud of her. But don't do that too often. Don't do that too often, okay? Because you'll shoot yourself in the foot. You need to come up with posts, and I'm not saying you do that, Desi, by the way. You need to come up with posts that show you as a person, show what you stand for, what you believe in, okay? Show about how you live your life, what's important to you, and more important, your why. What is your why? Why are you in business? Okay, why are you in business? If it's just to make money, I don't want to say this to you, but if you're just in business to make money, you're dead in the water. It's not going to last, right? You need a why that is much more than money. What will the impact of the money be for you, your lifestyle, your family, your grandchildren, your mother-in-law, whatever? You need to come up with that and believe it. All right? Story and why. That differentiates you. And share. And be prepared to share that you might not like this, okay? Be prepared to be vulnerable. Be prepared to admit that you've made mistakes. I just 2 hours ago, I had to run a coaching session with a group of people, right, who are network marketers. And they asked me about some things, and I said to them, no, I really mucked that up. I made a hell of a mess. And I'll tell you what it was. Because I ran a network marketing group, right, and we did very well, but I did it the wrong way. I taught them everything they needed to know, which meant they became completely dependent on me. And I was running around like a mad ass, right, trying to do everyone's work for them. I mean, the idea is it's got to be duplicatable, right, to make it work. And I didn't do it that way. I did it the other way. So I was showing these people my vulnerability and the mistakes that I made, all right? Now, I'm not saying you need to do that on a Facebook post, but keep that in mind in terms of letting people relate with you. Admit that you've got a mistake, okay? I mean, for example, Desi, you may or may not know, I put a post in, I have a Facebook group that Desi is a member of. Did you see that post? It's quite a long post, Desi. I don't know whether you saw it.
Yeah, about your Aussie family?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you commented. Yeah, you commented. Yeah, because we both had a similar thing, yeah. That was showing my vulnerability, right? That's what I was. I was trying to give a message, but I was also trying to say, hey, I stuffed things up a bit too. But I didn't let them get to me, okay? And that's the other thing you're going to face. Some of the biggest competition you've got right now are not the people on this call, okay? The biggest competition you have right now could be in your family. They could be questioning you, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your money on this business? Why? Okay? So be aware of that. Be aware of that. And I want you to, if you could, I'd love you to write this down, because this is something that a coach of mine 20 years ago taught me, and it's made me millions of dollars, right? That's a bit of a brag, but it's true, okay? And this is what it is. People who earn the least get paid for what they do. Right? People who earn the least get paid for what they do. People who get paid the most get paid for who they are. Huge difference.
Peter, can you say that second one again for me, please?
Yeah, I'll say them both again to be sure. People who get paid the least get paid for what they do. Do, right? People who get paid the most get paid for who they are.
Thank you.
In other words, they know what you stand for. They start to believe in you. They start to resonate with you. They start to respect you. It's the same thing, right? If that's missing in the relationship you've got, then you are not going to get the client. That's why I said earlier to you need 4 yeses. Is this believable? Can I trust you? Is it right for me? Can I do this, right? That's all part of, do they resonate with you? The problem is that many companies don't talk to you like this. They try to convince you that how good your product is and people must buy it because they'd be crazy not to. That's not how you do it. Because people don't believe it. And you know what? They're not interested. They aren't the slightest bit interested in you or your product or your company or your returns or how long you've been in business or whatever new car that Desi just bought herself. They're not interested in that. All they're interested in is, can you help them? And you don't know what that help is until you need to earn the right to get them to share with you what that is. That's why I said to you earlier, Peter, you need to have a 15-minute personal conversation to build some contact. You cannot build a know, like, and trust factor on Messenger using an automated system. That people tell you that because they want to sell you stuff. It doesn't work. When you start dealing with decent amounts of money, if you're talking about transactions, $5 and $10, yeah, no problem. Okay, but when you're talking about a decent size transaction, you need to talk to them. Don't rely on Messenger or a bot to do it for you because it won't do it. And if it does, it won't do it very often. Now, I probably tread on a lot of people's toes saying that, but I mean, what you see is what you get. Sorry.
Actually, that reminded me of another good point. How to get people to buy the larger packs instead of the smaller ones.
One step at a time. If they become a customer, right? Correct? Are you saying, Desi, that they're bought in at a certain level, right?
No, I'm saying how can we get them started on a higher level?
Wait. One step. Did they show interest in the lower level? Because if they didn't show interest in the lower level, there's no point in pushing them any further.
No, they show interest in the product.
Well, then what you've got to say is, okay, Desi, I'm really pleased that you're showing interest in ABC, right? But just to help me, what is it about it that interests you? I'd love to know. Get them to tell you why they're interested in it. What you're doing is getting them to sell themselves. Don't you try and sell them, right? What is it about ABC that is really of interest to you? And listen carefully and listen actively, right, to what they're saying to you, all right? And then whatever they say, that's interesting, Desi, thank you for that. If that's really important to you, then I can't talk about your product because I don't even know what it is, right? But you've got a next level up that can do something extra, correct?
Yeah, you can earn more the higher you go.
Is it just earning at all?
Well, you'll get to the 100K pack quicker, which is the top level.
Okay, yeah, but you're talking terminology. When you're talking to a potential customer, that means nothing to them, right? You got to talk in simple terms to them. Okay. Yeah. When I asked Desi, tell me why that was important to you, I'm expecting you to tell me because I need the money to do X. Okay. Once I know that, then I start to understand how important is it to you, Desi. Why is that so important to you? I'm finding out about your why. Okay. And if it's really that important, Desi, you know what? I would be interested in offering you a chance to get that new house in half the time. Would you be interested? In other words, relate it back to what they told you, to their why. The other thing I'd be saying to them is this. When I would say to them, if they're at a lower level, for example, and they've shown some interest, I'd say, look, from 1 out of 10, Where would you rank this in terms of the importance to you? 1 meaning you're not the slightest bit interested in, and 10 meaning I wish I'd done it yesterday. Where do you rank yourself in terms of your interest in what this product is? If they say 5 or less, they're not interested. In other words, you haven't done the job. You haven't got through to them. You're not resonating with them. They're not on the same wavelength as them at all. And they're not trusting you. They're not listening to you. All right? If it's 7, 8, or 9, if it's 10, you got a customer, right? If it's 7, 8, or 9, then you'd say, what do we need to do to make it a 10? What's missing for you? Get them to tell you what's missing for you. And they might not have a clue. Okay? They're just putting a number down because they're unsure about making a decision. That's the point, right? Expect people to come up with all sorts of creative ways to say no. But the point is, if they say no for the wrong reason, everybody loses. They lose, and so do you. They lose because you were giving them the opportunity to achieve their why using your product, and you lose because you didn't get paid. So all I'm saying to you is you need to get people to explain to you, even when they buy it, even if they say, okay, I'm in, Desi, I'm in. Tell them, before we go any further, I want to know why. Why is it that you made that decision? I'd love to know. I really want to know. I don't want a testimonial. I don't want a referral there. Get that later. Tell me why you made that decision. I really want to know because it's important to me. And get them to tell you in their words why they bought the product, right? And write those words down and use those words with other people you talk to. I've just been talking to John Cook, for example, and John said he bought because of A, B, and C. They don't know who John Cook is, but you just mentioned his first name, right? So you use their information to help position you as a person with other customers. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm doing all the talking here. Over to you.
Oh, it's great information.
I'm trying to squeeze 2-day workshop into 4 minutes.
But can I trouble you to go back to the people that earn the least got paid for what they do? People get paid
for who they are.
For who they are.
In other words, it's all in the perception, in the mind of your potential customer. Okay?
Okay.
If they think you get paid for who you are, if they think you are a person of substance, if they think you are a person they can resonate with, that they can believe, that they can trust, okay, because they're about to shift their hard-earned money over to you. Does that make sense, Leneke? Okay, and remember, in their minds, they're saying, can I trust you? Okay. So, and we're all the same. I bet everyone on this call, if you walked into a shop today and someone came up to you and said, can I help you? I bet your answer is, no, thanks, I'm just looking. Right? Or words to that effect. Because we're all that way. So you've got to expect people to not say, oh, God, I'm so pleased you came in here. I want to buy this refrigerator. I'm so pleased you came in. That doesn't happen, right? What you want to do is go looking for yourself and get out of the way. I'll come back to you if I want to buy it, right? That's what you're thinking in your head. That's what your customers are thinking. It's the same thing, but it's a different product. So all I'm saying to you, and I know your company would hate me for saying this, but what you see is what you get. Do not try to convince someone to buy based on the performance of the company. That's what you need to do, is convince people, is to empower them to make up their own mind, not try to convince them. Work with them, help them to make the best decision for them. and get them to feel that you are working with them, not trying to sell things to them. Can you see the difference?
I think sometimes you get desperate and the desperation takes over. That obviously that way of thinking.
You're human. That's right. Especially at the end of the month and you need to say, for God's sake, or I can't pay the electricity bill, right? Or whatever. You get desperate. And when you get desperate, you take shortcuts. And when you take shortcuts, guess what happens?
Nothing.
Exactly. And the only thing that you lose is your reputation.
Not good.
Now, I'm not trying to paint a picture that's full of roses and things. I'm just trying to be realistic with you, that's all. Because to me, if you have a customer-centric focus where you are making memorable moments for them, making them feel special, not pushing them in any way, empowering them, helping them to make a decision, collaborate with them. Let's work together on this, Nathan. Okay, you want to get the extension on that house, right? How much is it going to cost? Okay, when do you want to get done? What sort of, and find out about him. What's important about it? Why would it be important for the family? All the details. In other words, get him to paint the picture to you of why he needs the money.
Yeah.
Right? And then what you do is you don't sell your product, you sell the extension on the house. Can you see the difference? He's buying the extension on the house. What you are offering is just the means to an end. Yes? No?
Yes.
All right. Next. No more?
Peter, can I ask you, on what day in 1945 were you born?
10th of July.
Damn it. I'm old.
How did you know it was 1945?
You said you were 76?
Oh, you can do good maths. That's right. 10th of July, 1945.
No, I don't have to do very good maths because I was born on the 16th of April, 1945.
Oh, a couple of oldies. Good on you, John.
So the thing that really annoys me is that I'm actually older than you.
Well, that doesn't annoy me at all. I think it's nice to have someone older than me on the call for
It
change.
wouldn't annoy you, it annoys me.
I was born in the it was called the Royal Women's Hospital for Children in Paddington in Sydney.
Yeah.
Peter.
Oh my God, so was I, Peter.
I don't know whether it still exists. I haven't got a clue.
No, it doesn't.
No, I don't think it does.
It's what you're talking about is the Crown Street Women's Hospital.
Yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't exist anymore. That's where I was born as well.
Right. And we lived in Manly, in Darley Road in Manly, as a kid.
Yeah, no,
and then moved to Tamworth, which is where I did all my schooling, and then went to university in Armidale, which is up the road a bit.
So did I.
You went to UNE?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What did you study?
Business.
I did an economics degree.
Well, there you go.
Which is all theory and no practice, and I had a lot of trouble keeping my eyes open at the end of the day. Anyway, enough of that. Good on you.
I was just building a rapport with you, mate, that's all.
Yeah. And you
He's using your method.
Yeah, and it's good. And by the way, I'll share something else with you, John. The only reason I'm online, I mean, I can only talk to the buffaloes so long in my village, right? So, and to me, I have a mission, and I think, Desi, you know what my mission is anyway. And my mission is the kids in this village, right? Because when I first got here, which is about 18 years, I married a tight lady 24 years ago, right? And we moved to the village because her parents were getting old and there's no social security, that sort of stuff. Anyway, long story short, when we moved here, I just saw that the children were leaving school at 10, 11 and 12 years of age to go and work in the rice fields. So I decided this is not a really smart thing to do. And it's a vicious cycle of poverty. So what I do is I coach people and I use the proceeds from my coaching to pay for the teachers. I built the school, pay for the teachers, and the uniforms and the backpacks and the kids' schools, shoes, etc. Right? And to me, it's a priceless combination. I'm helping people make good money in their business, and they're helping me create a situation in my village that people never dreamed of before. So I'm blessed. I am really blessed.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and Desi, you know, I wrote it in that post, okay? I want to be the world's oldest profitable online coach, right? And in 4 years, I'm going to be 80. You too, John. I'm going to be 80, right, in 4 years. And I'm hoping that I've still got the same energy level as I've got now. Even though I was diagnosed with heart disease 7 years ago, I'm a positive thinker. I don't believe in that, okay? I really believe that I've got so much to give in this world. So anyway, enough of that.
If I might say something, just be careful how much rapport you build with John, because if it goes too far, he'll have you confessing to a murder.
Yeah, well, you're a policeman, John, ex-policeman.
Yeah, and so's the guy that just said that to you.
Chris. My record is clean, sir.
Yeah, they all say that. They all say that. Well, I knew that the moment you said that you only spoke to the buffaloes, I thought, well, he's okay, this guy.
Well, I can tell you something else. We've got cows and they all love ice cream.
There you go.
And that's not a fib. I'm a straight shooter. Desi, you've even seen the video of the cow eating the ice cream, right?
Yeah, Daisy the cow, yeah.
Yeah, Daisy. And Sandy, there's two of them.
Well,
anyway.
When I was a kid, we had a cow named Daisy and Isabel. So there you go. We've got a lot in common, you and I.
Yeah. The problem with these cows is they think they're part of the family, John. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I found one in the kitchen.
Love it.
Are they milking cows?
Pardon?
Are they milking cows?
No.
No.
No, they're going to be, well, we're not going to sell them, and they're part of the family, to be quite frank. We're going to have, they're going to have calves, and we're going to sell the calves, but we're going to keep the mums. I mean, my wife couldn't part with them now, to be quite frank with you. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Next. I've got 10 minutes left.
Diane's from the UK, but she's originally, I met her in Brisbane. Do you have anything you want to ask, Diane?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Diane.
Hey, Diane. Nice to see you.
Yes, thank you for your comment when I arrived, saying that you didn't know whether you could trust me because I was behind my photo. It's a good job I don't take things personally, isn't it? But nonetheless, it's beautiful to be here. And I wasn't sure that I could make today's meeting because I'm actually working. But I thought I would put the meeting on and tune into what's going on while I'm working away. So
well,
thanks
Diane,
for
you
having
just give me an incredibly interesting thing to talk about, because you are now on video, but before that you just had your photo, right?
Mm.
But you're here, but you're hiding behind the photo. I didn't mean to sound that the wrong way, but we couldn't see you. Whenever you get on a Zoom call with a potential client and they are not on video, okay, do not assume straight away that they are scared to be on video, okay? They may not trust you, all right? Be careful. They may not trust you. It doesn't matter what you think. You might have the best intentions, the most honourable person, and Chris and John have been the best policemen they've ever been in the world, right?
Yes.
But they don't know that. They don't know that. And they don't damn well trust you. And so you've got to be, as I told you before, you've got to be not only vulnerable, but transparent. So if I was on the call, a Zoom call with Diane, talking about the potential of your business, right? And I couldn't see you on the video, I would say, Diane, look, can I just share something with you? This is a 15-minute call just to talk to you about you. And I poke fun at myself. I say, look, Diane, the reason I want to talk to you is because I like to find out about people first before we talk business. And I can assure you, Diane, I'm happily married. I'm not looking for a wife, okay, even though they got this crazy guy from Thailand talking to you. I just want to find out what gets Diane out of bed in the morning and what makes you tick. So if that's okay with you, can we continue? 99 times out of 100, the video comes on. And then they'll...
Well, I'll tell you what I do then. Excuse me. If I'm having a one-to-one client meeting over Zoom, I wouldn't have anybody without video. It'd have to be a prerequisite.
This is not a client meeting, Diane. This is not a client meeting. This is before they become a client. They don't know.
Well, I'm assuming everyone I talk to will become a client, just not everyone does. But if I'm having a meeting with somebody, unless it's over the telephone, then it's got to be face-to-face. That's my prerequisite.
Okay, and if they don't, what happens?
Well, I'll let them know beforehand that it's a live video. It's a live meeting, so it'll be face-to-face videos on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because people, I mean, some people prefer audio, some video, some in writing. I mean, you've got to respect that too, Diane, right? Even though you want to have it live, okay?
Oh, no, what I'm saying is, unless it's over the telephone, then if we're doing a Zoom and there's video, then they can turn the video on. But other than that, if it's a phone call, then obviously it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you're on a Zoom call and they don't turn the video on, what do you say?
I ask them to turn the video on before we resume, so I can see who they are.
I don't feel comfortable doing that, what would you say?
They don't. Nobody never has done yet. But it's a prerequisite of my meetings that people show themselves on video.
Okay, good.
Because you could be talking to anyone for the exact same reasons as what you've just said. So I think there was one time where somebody didn't want to, and we just asked them to turn it on so we could see who they were at the beginning of the meeting, and then they could turn it off if they wanted. But once they turned it on, they were fine with that.
Okay. Let me share. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. I appreciate where you're coming from very much. Let me share this because I've got to go. I've got to run another coaching session. The biggest problem in sales is the word sales, right? Because of the perceptions and the hang-ups people have about that particular word. And you may have it in your mind as well, right? What you need to think about is this. Stop selling and start serving. Have a mindset of serving people. And the more professional you can serve them, the more memorable you can make the occasion for them, the more remarkable they will think you are, and the more beneficial it will be to them, and they will become a customer much easier. But if they sense that you are trying to sell them something, not serve them, you have lost. Right? That was met with a lot of silence. If you don't agree, by all means say so, Melman. I am open to whatever. I'm just sharing with you what for 36 years I've been doing, and it works, all right? And I'm just trying to get you thinking sometimes in a slightly different way. And if it can make you $1, then I've done my job. That's what I'm trying to say to you. And I don't have anything to sell. I don't have any links to give you, nothing. I'm here to serve Desi Perez, who is a member of one of my Facebook families. And I'm delighted to be here to help her. So, any other questions?
I'll just agree with what you just said and put it in another way. People like to buy, but they don't necessarily like to be sold to, especially if they're being sold to badly.
Yeah, because selling is not getting someone, trying to convince them to do something that their gut is saying, I can't do. You'll lose. If their gut is saying, no, don't do this, you're going to lose, right? Because gut feelings are everything. People make decisions based on emotion, not on logic, all right? So you need to overcome that gut feeling by being transparent, by being open with them. That's what I've been trying to share with you. So you can build resonance with them, and then they start to respect you. When they start to respect you, their gut feeling goes down a bit. oh, Nathan, maybe I can trust this guy a bit more. Okay. Can you see where I'm coming from now?
Mm.
Yeah.
You want another way to put it? If you want to make a lot of money in your company, then you've got to be a good leader. A great salesperson is a really good leader. In other words, when you are meeting with people, you don't try and sell them anything. What you do is you serve them to the best of your ability. And you don't need any fancy closing lines either. Okay? Even though maybe your company teaches you all these scripts and things you've got to use, be careful with that because it sounds like a robot. Be careful. Be you. Be genuine. Okay? There's no scripting for sincerity. Right? And at the end of the period, when you've done your presentation with them and you've collaborated with them to come up with what a particular solution may be for them, how do you get them to buy? What would you say? When they're at that point, when you've shown them what you can do for them and they've got interest in it, how do you get them to buy? What do you say? I mean, what do you say now? This is not a trick question.
Are you in?
Are you in? Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
I would ask them where they're at and how soon they want to get to where they want to be.
Sounds good to me, Diane. Anything else?
And you shall we do it now?
What? Okay. Food for
You
thought.
want to get started?
Yeah, but
Can you see the benefits that this company will give you?
yeah, they're all fine, but here's two things you could think about. One, this is so simple you might think it never work, but it does. I'd say, Diane, what would you like to do next?
Let's get going.
You're already going, Diane.
Yeah, that's a question I asked her. What would you like to do next? In other words, I'm empowering her to make the decision, all right? What would you like to do next? I'm not saying, let's get started. Don't do that. Empower them. Keep them perceived to be in control. If they are perceived to be in control, they're not being sold to, you are serving them. What would you like to do next? Pretty simple, but very powerful. Anyway, look, sorry, I've got to go. I've got a really big coaching session. I hope you got some value out of that, all right?
Yeah, thanks so much, Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter.
Thank
I got a
you,
lot of
Peter.
info out of that.
That's
I
been
wrote everything
awesome.
down.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
All the very best.
Thank you.